Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Brittany. During this video, I'm going to be making some jewelry for my best friend for her birthday. A while back, I got some really cool stuff from Hobby Lobby, and it's just been sitting there, and I need to get on it because her birthday is next week. So I'm not going to post this video until she receives her stuff, but I wanted to make sure I showed you guys what I made. So the first thing I got, I actually got this for her for Valentine's Day, but forgot to make something with it. She loves, what's the name? The movies, the Descendants from Disney, and her favorite character wears like all this ruby red heart stuff. So I thought this would be perfect for a cute necklace for her. So I'm gonna make something with that. And then one of her favorite animals is foxes. So I got her this really cute fox charm. Can't really see it, like the lighting's not the greatest right now, but he's really detailed. And then I also got this like woodland creature set and tree from Hobby Lobby as well. So there's a fox in there, a really cute tree, little bird, this adorable little bunny, and a squirrel. So I think this is gonna be right up her alley. I don't know if I'm gonna make one big necklace with all these guys on it or like a necklace and some bracelets. So I'm gonna go gather some supplies and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I went and got a bead mat as well. For the first thing I'm going to make, I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm gonna make, it's almost kind of like a floating necklace, but I looked at some pictures of the girl for inspiration. Her real name is Sophia Carson, but she wears a necklace in the movie that looks a lot like this, but it's gold, and hers is just strung on a gold chain. But I wanted to make something a little bit more interesting than that, so I cut about 28 inches because it's a longer necklace of some Coriana chain, and I got some of these bright like royal blue crystals that I found in my stash from my Bargain Bee Box monthly subscription from earlier this year. And then I got some, what are these, crimp beads. I'm not going to need as many as I pulled out, but I just put them there. And I have my pliers, and I'm going to put these along the chain, and they'll look like they're floating because of the crimp beads. And this will be the center. So let me see. Yeah, and I can just, because of the bail on here, I can just slide that onto the chain. I don't need a jump ring. And then later on, not pictured here, I'll put a clasp. So let's see, let's start figuring this out. I'm trying to decide if I want to put this on first and then just go up the sides with the beads, or if I want to try doing the beads at intervals. We'll see. So it's really pretty just with this on this chain, but we're gonna get some blue in there because those are her colors, red and blue. All right, so I think this might be easier if I measure out in inches each bead, because the pendant, sorry about that, a call came through and I had to answer it. So I think I got my ruler out. I think I'm gonna measure the beads out by inches. So I'm starting at 2 here, right in the middle. And I think I'm just gonna go down the chain, every inch do a bead, or maybe every 2 inches, yeah, I'm gonna do every 2 inches, do a bead. So first, you're gonna take your chain and make sure that the pendant stays there and that your ends stay together, because, or well, at least the necklace doesn't move, because then everything will be off if the necklace moves around a lot. So I'm going to try and very carefully, this might be it might be easier to say than do. I'm going to try and very carefully keep, actually, you know what, I'm going to take the pendant off. This is what I like about working on live camera. I mean, it's not live for you guys, but it's live for me. It's a little harder to plan or do something off the cuff here. So I'm going to start by putting my crimp bead on. Okay, I was going to think maybe these are a little too small, but they're not. Okay, and then I'm going to come in at 2 inches. These actually might be a little too small. They might not crimp well enough, and these holes might go over them. So we might need to go grab some different crimp beads. I'll check this one out. So grab my trusty dusty pliers, grab the crimp bead. Sorry, my nails are going to be in the way for a second. And then, oop, it moved a little bit. I have a feeling that these are going to be too small. And then you just squish the crimp bead. And then place this bead on. And hopefully this won't go over the crimp bead. If it does, I'll go grab some different crimp beads that are bigger. So, nope, it's not too big. And the good thing is it's small, so it doesn't really draw your eye to the crimp bead. It draws your eye to the crystal. So we're going to put another crimp bead on. We're going to squish that one. Do you like my technical terms for jewelry making? Squishing things. So that one's squished, and now we have a stationary bead. So I'm going to do that every 2 inches on this chain. So I'll do a couple more, and then I'll come back. So, or well, I'll do a couple more for you guys, and then I'll go and do the rest. So this time, instead of coming from this end, I'm going to come all the way from the other end. And this is where I have to like figure out how many of these I need to do and then put the pendant on, because if I forget to put the pendant on, then I'll have to use a couple jump rings and it won't look as nice. So I'll move the crimp bead all the way down. So we come from this bead and move it to 2 inches. Grab the crimp bead and squish. Or crimp, whatever. I like the word squish better. So then we put on our crystal. This guy doesn't want to go in the hole. Okay. And then we put on our crimp bead. These are teeny tiny. It's hard to see with the camera in the way. Okay. All right, so then we drop that all the way down to the beads, the other beads that are on it. Sorry, everything's getting tangled here. Move it all the way down. Move that crimp bead right up against the crystal and squish. So now we're starting to make beaded chain. Oops, sorry, I want to try and get these in focus. Okay, so I'm going to finish the rest of the chain and then I'll come back. Okay, I finished that step, and this is how it looks. It's so pretty. I love it, and these just add such a perfect sparkle to the chain. I know my bestie's gonna really like it. So it goes all the way to the back. So now I'm gonna show you how I put a clasp on a Coriana chain like this. So I always put the clasp on the right side of the necklace because I'm right-handed. And then, so here's the right side of the necklace. First, I'm going to put, now some people, there's a ton of different names for these things. I've heard them called culottes. I've heard them called like clamshells. I don't know what you call them, but in my head I call them culottes because that's what I've heard them be called before. So you're gonna put this on the chain, and it's kind of hard to do this in the camera, so bear with me. And this Coriana chain does not like teeny tiny holes. Sorry guys. Sometimes you have to open the culottes a little bit to get the hole to be a little bigger. So I'm just gonna pull this apart just a little bit. Sometimes that hole opens up. This might be too small for the chain I'm using, but usually it's not. You just have to kind of stick with it. Might have to trim this chain a little bit because it's kind of, I don't know if you can see that. It's not really, it's kind of frayed. Yeah, I'm going to trim that a little bit. And all I have around me are my memory wire cutters. So let me just trim a little tiny bit off. And so it's not as frayed. We'll see if this works. If not, we're going to come up with a different plan. Come on. I'm going to try squeezing this a little bit with my pliers to make it a little thinner. Oh, and that just made it wider. Great. All right, so if this doesn't work, I promise you I'll figure something else out. If you end up having to trim your chain a couple times, don't worry, you can always put an extender on the back of a necklace. Yeah, that's too thick now. I'm going to try and get some regular nippers. Hold on one moment. Okay, let's see if these work. I'm going to try cutting it at an angle. Hopefully that works, and if it doesn't, like I said, we'll figure it out. Well, it's going through, it's just slowly. I wonder if this is just too wide, or if I smushed it too much. Let's see if I can grab it with my pliers. There's like a little teeny tiny part that I'm trying to grab in there and pull. Oh boy. No, don't fall off. No. Sorry, I'm moving the camera. See, these are the things that jewelry makers go through when you're trying to make something on the fly. That's why I like watching people make jewelry instead of just watching tutorials, because you figure things out sometimes. It's always nice to learn something new. Okay, this is not going to work. It's in there, but it's too flat. You might be stuck. Okay, so I'm going to try the other side of the necklace to see if I can at least get one on, because that'll make my life a lot easier. No, this chain is just a little too thick. I've never seen, I guess I've never used Coriana chain that's this thick, and my culottes must have smaller holes. One of the two is true. So I'm trying to think what we're gonna do to fix this. Just open this a little bit more, maybe that'll help. Oh, phew. There we go. Okay, so that helped by opening up the culotte a little bit more. And then we're gonna grab a crimp bead, put it on the chain, and then towards the end, we're just going to do the same thing we did with next to the crystals and crimp, or smush as I like to say. Do that very tightly, slide the clot up, and give it a little squish. I think I just broke the clot. I did, because I opened it up too much. I don't know if you can see that. I was just watching another video today where another jewelry maker had some bloopers, and I think that's what we're on right now. So I think this will be okay. And if I was making this for myself, I wouldn't change out the culotte. But I'm not making this for myself. I'm making it for my best friend, and I want to make sure she enjoys this necklace for years to come. So what I'm going to do is take this off. Oh, see? It broke. So take it off, and now I learned not to open up the culotte that much. The good thing is we don't lose that much chain. We only lose about 1/8 of an inch. Cut right next to the crimp bead, and here we go, take 2. So, surprised we're having this much trouble. I'm not going to open it. Oh, see, like this hole, well, we'll see. I did not expect to have this much trouble. Usually I don't when I use these. So, sorry, I'm not in frame. Yeah, not big enough. And if I open it up like that again, I'm fearing that we're just going to have the same issue keep happening. There's a clamp did come with this kit. I just don't want to, I wanted to use the culottes. So if they don't work, we're going to use what came in the kit. But I was able to get this one on. We'll see if the same thing happens. If it does, we'll just use what was in the kit. All right. So, second time's a charm. Oh, and I just lost that bead. Here it is. Grab it with your pliers, squish down to the end, and squish. And squish again. Okay, so I'm going to very slowly close the culotte. Last time I did it very quickly. Push this up a little bit. Okay, so it's, oh, no, it's just too small. These culottes are too small for this chain, and this one broke too. Okay, so lesson learned. I'm going to snip this. I'm glad I left 2 inches towards the top. And here is the packaging from the chain. Let's see what came in here. So these are a little different. They're not my favorite, but they're a lifesaver in this situation. They're probably gonna be a lot easier to use. But I think this chain is just way thicker than I normally use for Coriana chain. So this chain came with 4 of these clamp crimp things. So I'm gonna make sure that my necklace is the same length between these 2 beads, because I don't want an uneven necklace. Because I started trimming, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to lay the chain in the clamp. And then I'm just looking to see, nope, no instructions. So I've only used these a couple times, and that's why I'm not the biggest fan of them. But you don't do them both at the same time. You clamp one and then the other. So we're gonna keep a tight hold on the chain so it doesn't move. And then, kind of learning with me on this one, guys. So we're gonna clamp that down, that one side, and then crimp along it. Make sure that chain doesn't go anywhere. Keep crimping, just like Dory, just keep swimming, just keep crimping. Okay, and then we're gonna do the other side. And we're gonna fold it down. This one's kind of bent out a little bit, so I'm gonna bend it with my fingers instead first to get it standing back up. Let's see if I can get it. So I'm holding it. Oh, I don't want to damage this too. All right, put that down. This is bending a lot, and I'm afraid that that's going to snap like our culottes did. So I'm going to take my fingernail, and I'm going to bend this over a little bit, and then I'll follow up with my pliers. You can see a jewelry sustained injury in my future if I keep going that way. So, and then we crimp, and crimp, and crimp. Okay, look, we did it. Okay, so I'm just gonna check to see which side of the necklace this is. This is the, let's see, the right, yes, the right side. So I'm gonna take my lobster clasp, and I had, oh, and some jump rings. I don't know what size these are, 6 millimeter, I think. Oh, there's a latch on this side, okay. Normally I don't keep my hardware in these, but I make a lot of polymer clay earrings, and I saw a video where these were on sale at Harbor Freight for like $3 something. So they have, I think, 24 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 24 of these little boxes, and they have a latch, and then the big box has a couple latches. So I got these at Harbor Freight, and I really just keep some earring findings in them so I can grab the box and go sit and assemble earrings. But most of my other findings are usually in this kind, separated by color. Is these lock, each one of these locks. Anyway, that's not on the point. Looks like the only pliers I have near me are these Bead pliers, and then some round nose pliers. Those will have to do. So I've shown you guys this before, and I'm sure if you're making jewelry, you know this. Make sure you twist your jump ring instead of pull apart. So we're going to slide that in, and we're going to slide on our lobster clasp, and we're going to twist closed, just like we twisted it open. Twist in reverse. So we've done that. I'm going to use this clamp on the other side of the necklace and attach a jump ring to close it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've finished the necklace. Again, here's what it looks like. Oh my gosh, it's just so pretty. And then here's what the back looks like. I put a little extender on, and since, guess what, guys, I didn't actually put the jump ring on the side of the necklace. I just made the extender and put it on the clasp like a silly girl. So let me really quickly, and I can show you guys how I would do that. So I'll just unhook this. I don't know how I did that. Unhook, grab the jump ring, open it up, and you know what? It might have actually slipped through now that I'm thinking about it, because I know I clasped this, or I put the jump ring through it. So in this situation, you might want to get a split ring and close it that way. I'm just making sure that this is really closed now and there's no gap, because that's not going to be fun. There we go. Much better. And then we clasp it. And I made a little extender out of more jump rings and a little dangle. All I did was put a head pin through the bead and put it on the end. So there's our finished necklace. Thank you so much for watching this portion of the video. I'm going to be back in just a second and show you the other things I'm making. So here's the first thing that I'm making for her birthday. It's just this necklace, and then I'll be right back. I'm going to choose the products that I want to use for her next project. Okay, I'm back with the other components that I had chosen. I have a loose idea of what I want to do for the next piece. I'm going to, I believe, make a bracelet out of this fox, so we'll put this aside for now. And then I want to make a necklace out and a pair of earrings out of the components from this set. So I'm thinking the earrings are going to be just really cute little dangles just with the charms. So they'll be coordinating, but they won't be identical. So I'm going to use the squirrel and the bunny. And then on the necklace, I'm going to use the tree as the main focal of the pendant. I'm going to create a bigger pendant out of the tree, it's either a bluebird or a blue jay, and a fox. And then I have this little tassel from Jesse James Beads. I decided I'm going to go with leather on this necklace. I haven't ever made my best friend a leather necklace, and I don't have too many of them myself, so I thought that would be a lot of fun. I got this leather from Hobby Lobby a long time ago, and you get this huge spool, 25 yards. So, and they might have it in a couple colors. I only have it in this color. It's 3mm suede lace, medium brown, and I love it. It's a lot of fun to have around. You can make a lot of stuff with it, tassels, and I'm going to show you. Like I said, I have a loose idea of what I want to do. So I cut 2 lengths of leather in the same length each one, and I don't know how long it is, but I think it's probably about 24 to 26 inches. And then I doubled each one up. Made sure the ends match. And I got out this split ring. It looks kind of like a bamboo ring. I love it. I got it from Hobby Lobby. You can probably see that in my Hobby Lobby haul. What I'm going to do is thread it on. And then I'm going to make a knot by pulling it through itself. And forgive me, I don't know the name of knots. Maybe it's a lark's head knot. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I don't really know the name of knots. So what I'm going to do is slide the knot over the part where the 2 ends of the ring meet. And it's not going to cover the whole knot, but it'll keep the charms from sliding into that part. And then on the other side of the ring, I'm going to take the other piece of leather and do the exact same thing. So double it in half, slide it through the ring, and then tie it through itself. Okay, so that's the base of our necklace, and I'm gonna slide this up a little bit so it looks like so it's not on both sides, it's more like 10 and 2 if you were driving. Well, maybe not 10 and 2, maybe 9:45. Anyway, so there's the beginning of our necklace, and it'll go back like this. So I brought out some little jump rings, and I made sure they fit because these are quite thick charms, and the ring is thick, so I wanted to make sure that the jump rings would close around the ring and the charms, but they do. So I'm going to go ahead and slip on a jump ring. Get your trusty dusty pliers and twist the jump ring closed. Sorry if it's not, oh, there we go. So we have the first charm. Let's see how I like it. Oh, well, this worked before, so we might need a larger jump ring. Yeah, well, no, we're good. We're good. I don't think it'll hit. Yeah, it's moving pretty nicely. And we might need to get a little bit of glue. I think I'll get that in a little bit and secure these knots so they don't keep loosening. You just put the glue at the back of the knot so you can't see it. I'll do that off camera when I'm finished. So I brought out some chain, and I don't know if I'm going to use it. I'm going to kind of figure it out on the fly here. Some Rolo chain. I was going to hang maybe one of the charms from the chain. I want to see what it looks like. I don't really want too many charms crowding. Maybe hanging the chain down. I don't know, this chain's a little chunky for this. I don't know. We'll see. I'll cut a little bit. I wanted this to hang, the tassel to hang down below the tree. Let me move this up a little bit so you can see it. Okay. Cut it right about there. Sorry, I always hit the camera stand. And knock around the camera. All right, so I think these are soldered closed, so I'm gonna grab a jump ring. Twist it open. Sorry, it's out of focus because it's focusing on everything in the back. So twist it open the jump ring. I'm gonna slide on the tassel, and then I'm gonna slide on the chain, and then we'll slip this closed. Okay, and so we have a little tassel hanging on some chain. And then I'll grab another jump ring. I'll grab a couple of them. And we'll just open this up again. Slip the chain on the jump ring. And then we'll see how it looks. Oh, gotta open that up a little bit more on the pendant. Okay. So let's see if I like how that looks. So I might like it, but I think I put too much chain. Yeah, I think that's a little long for what I want. So I can always clip the chain. I'm gonna put the bird on. Just trying to get an idea, and then we can refine it. My best friend's birthday is actually today, so I will be going to the post office to ship this to her. We have a post office where you can use a machine without, you know, talking to anybody, and I'm gonna have to use that because we're supposed to be social distancing, and I don't want to. I haven't been out in public in a very long time, so it'll be nice to get out of the house. I'm trying to figure out which way. I'm gonna put the bird on here first. Okay, and then that's the front. And sorry guys, doing this in the camera and making sure it's in focus and trying to see it at the same time is kind of complicated. So, all right, let's see how that looks. Get the bird. All right, so I like that because I love how the bird looks like he's in the tree. I'm definitely going to either take off the tassel or snip it. Actually, you know what? I think I want to put the fox down there. So I'm going to snip this guy a little bit. Okay, grab another jump ring. Put our box on the jump ring. And then put our jump ring on the chain, if I can find it. And let's see, I want to make sure the fox is going the right way, but it's kind of hard to tell with it already on the necklace, so. Oh, I think that's so sweet. The little bird in front of the tree and the little fox hanging down below the tree. I love it. And I might just put a jump ring on, sorry. I might just put a jump ring on the tassel and put it over here. So, well, it's already got a jump ring, so we'll just take off the little bit of chain there. Slide the jump ring on. I gotta open that up a little bit more. Okay, so let's see how that looks. Oh my gosh, I think that is the cutest little pendant. My friend just loves foxes, so I know she's gonna love this necklace. Oh my gosh, so cute. And she likes longer necklaces, so that's why I wanted it to be longer. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I want to keep it, but I want her to have a happy birthday more. So I love it. It looks like a little fairy tale necklace. Okay, so then for the earrings, I have these fancy ear wires from Fire Mountain Gems, gold plated brass. So I'm going to grab these. Let me show you. I think these were in my Fire Mountain Gems video. They're just really cute. Have a little pattern on them. They're a little more special than a regular ear wire. Here's our little bunny. I think he's so cute. He reminds me of Thumper. And from Bambi. So then all I'm going to do is, I think this will open. Yeah, so there's a little tiny cut in there. So I'm just going to twist it open like a jump ring and put the little bunny on there. These are easy beginner earrings, but I think they're going to be so cute. I don't want to take away from how cute the charms are by adding a whole bunch of beads or other things. Okay, so we hook that on there. Oopsie. Close that up. And we've got ourselves one earring that is just adorable. Oh, those are so cute. And then we'll open this one up and put the squirrel on this one. And I like how these face each other too. So you're going to be wearing them, you know, on one side of your head facing the other. Let's see. One's left. One's clearly left and one's clearly right is what I'm trying to say. Oh my gosh. Look how cute they are. Little buddies. Little best friends, just like me. Yeah, my friend Laura. Aww. Okay, so cute little earrings. Those make me so happy. So now we have to finish off the back of this necklace. I'm going to put this chain away. I'm not going to use it. And then I brought these over, but so these are kind of like what I used on the last necklace to close off the Coriana chain. But they're a little bigger, that they would fit this leather. I think they're just called cord crimps. But issue I'm having with these, as you can tell, so 7 by 11 millimeter extra large cord crimp. The thing that you can tell is the problem is they're silver and they're not gold. So I could paint pen them, and they actually are kind of flimsy. I mean, I'm sure they would work very well, but this part right here seems a little flimsy. So we have a couple options. We can wire wrap these, which I'm kind of leaning towards so the color matches. Or, sorry, let me get the ends together here. Just snip those to make them even. Okay, and what you would do if you're using the cord crimps is, I believe, oh yeah, this actually, I've never used this kind before, so just put them in there. I would maybe use some glue. Yeah, definitely I would use some super glue or super glue gel or quick grip. And then you fold over the sides and use your pliers to keep those down. And actually, I really like how secure that is, so I'm not going to wire wrap these. I'm going to end up using this guy on both sides, and then we'll just make sure we use a clasp that matches the rest of the necklace. So I'm going to grab, I know I saw some glue. Oh, here we go. I'm going to grab some quick grip and put a little bit, I'm going to grab a new one of these. Put a little bit right there where those, it almost looks like it should have glue there because of the wells that they, the texture. So I'm just gonna put a tiny bit. And make sure you always clean your quick grip because let me tell you, it'll glue to itself. So I put a little bit in there. Again, I'm gonna make sure I grab the strands of leather and make sure they line up. We're gonna grab our little crimp, settle those guys in there, and you can kind of see the glue, but we can clean that up later. It's no problem. Push this down, keep it down with my thumb. And the glue is pouring out a little bit, but like I said, no big deal. We'll just want to make sure that that hole's clear before it dries. There's a little bit of glue in the hole. All right, so we push that down, smush it down, my favorite word. And then we will close the sides. So while pressing, we'll push in one side. And then I'm gonna grab my pliers and I'm gonna smush again to make sure it stays clamped. And then we'll do the same with the other side. Yeah, I could see all the glue on my fingers. And then we're going to clamp that one. That one's not that pretty. There we go. Kind of smush to the side a little bit so you can just get it back that way. And then clamp it down. Okay, so I have an eye pin close to me, or it had been an eye pin. And I'm just going to clear out the hole where the glue got stuck so we can put a jump ring through after everything dries. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, come back, or clean this up, and then come back and show you how to put the clasp on. Okay, the glue's dry, and I picked out a clasp. I'm going with this hook and eye clasp, and I know most of the necklace is gold, but since the back ends are silver, I'm just going to stay with that and the color in the back. Plus, this is a really pretty clasp, and it's easy to use, so I think it goes really well with this necklace. Like I said before, I'm going to take some glue and put it on the knots so they don't come undone. So I'm making sure I have the knots where I want them. Okay. Yep, that's exactly where I want them. And I have GS Hypo Cement. I use this for, mainly for stretch bracelets, but I think it'll work really well in here because it has the precision tip. And I'm just gonna put a little dot of glue in the knot here towards the back. Okay, let's see how that looks. Yeah, you can't really see it in the front. I'm not gonna really try and pull that too tight because I don't want it the stain to show, because you can see it's a little darker. And if I pull tight, it's gonna smear. So I'm just gonna leave that. And then I'm gonna go on to the other knot and do the exact same thing down, try and get it down even further in there. And wipe that off. Sorry. There we go. Put it down in the knot. Sorry, thought I was in camera. Down there. And pull a little tight until you can kind of just start seeing the glue. And that'll dry on its own. And then I always put the actual clasp part on the right side of the necklace because I'm right-handed and I'm pretty sure Laura is right-handed. No, I don't know, but I'm going to put it on the right-hand side of the necklace. Let me see. I had a jump ring, and now I've lost the jump ring. Oh, here we go. I'm going to grab 2 smaller ones and put those, use those to attach the clasp. I still have a little bit of glue on my hands. I've washed them a couple times. It's just going to be something I'm pulling off of my fingers for the next few hours. All right. So we have our jump ring open. And then I'm going to grab the crimp, cord crimp. And sorry, it's kind of hard to see. Sorry if you hear a lawnmower in the background. My complex is doing some landscaping and they've been doing it all morning. All right, so then we're gonna twist that closed. There we go, isn't that pretty? I love this. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side for the soldered ring. This open. Oh, this jump ring doesn't want to open. Okay, there we go. You could just use a regular jump ring, but this soldered ring came with the clasp. So put that on this side. And close it up. And then it will go right through. I don't know. This came. I wonder if these aren't meant to be used with a jump ring. What I can do, since the ball isn't going through, sometimes you just kind of don't know these things until you try them on camera, is I'll just get a bigger jump ring. I'm surprised that that's like that. I'm wondering if they really just want you to put this, like sew this into a project or something, which I don't usually do. Okay, so plan B, that's not gonna work. I still want to use this I'm sorry, not jump ring. I still want to use the clasp, but I'm just gonna use a different ring. So I'll take this one off, keep the jump ring on, and I'll search for a bigger ring here. Let's see. A much bigger ring. Hopefully this works. If not, we'll have to find another one. I'm gonna make sure that this is closed because it's a little open. There we go. Put it on this smaller jump ring. And then put it back on the cord end. And close that up. Sorry, it's not focusing. Okay. Sorry, it's out of the screen. I just can't see it in the screen and in real life at the same time. Okay, so then we just close it up by sliding that on there. And it's still really pretty clasped. And it's not going anywhere. The good thing is this could be an over-the-head necklace, and if she wanted to, she could squeeze this shut. So there's the necklace, all finished. I am so in love with this thing. And she's lucky she's my best friend, or else I'd keep it and make her something else. So we've got our little bird, our little fox, and our little tree, and our tassel. I just love that so much. Makes me so happy with our little other woodland creatures over here. Okay, so the second and third pieces are done, and then now I'm just going to find some things that I would like this little fox to go with, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I found these gemstone beads in my stash. I got these, I think, in 2019 at Tucson gem shows. These I showed in one of my Tucson gem show haul videos from 2020, and I found this cute little butterfly. I found like a stash of them in my metal beads, and now that I know I have them, because I don't remember ever seeing these before, they're so cute. They're actually beads. They're not charms. You can make them into a charm. But I think I'm going to put this somewhere on the bracelet and then have this obviously hanging as a charm. I also have some metal spacers. I don't know if I'm going to use these, but it carries on with the woodland theme. Some little copper leaves, and I think, oh, and then I have these spacer beads that are textured, and these are just like some gemstone rondelles. So I have my bead board out just because I couldn't find my bracelet bead board. Oh, here it is. But anyway, this bead board's more beautiful than my regular bracelet bead board. It's the Mala bead board I showed in my video from the Weekend Mystic. Check them out if you want one. They are gorgeous. So I have my stretch cord elastic needle. I'm gonna try out a couple different variations on how I want this stranded, and then we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna dump out some of these spacer beads just in case, and I'm gonna take out one leaf. I think I'll do one leaf and one butterfly. All right, so I don't have any copper bails that would go well with this on a stretch bracelet. I think I have one. I have one that would look good on a necklace, but I'm using that in a different video that I'll show you later. Ooh, I just found a really cute copper bead. This is Jesse James. I think we're gonna get a little too carried away if I add this bead in. So anyway, now I just have to start, like, figure out, this guy's gonna go, what we're gonna do here, because we're gonna have him in the middle. We need to get a jump ring for the middle, but I can do that at the end. And I think I want him to be between probably two of these, between two of these. So we can do that at the end. So I'll leave two out. Let's see. I like this guy. And this guy. So those will be my two focals for the fox to lay between. And then we got to figure out a pattern for the rest of the beads. So what I'll do is I'll grab a bead. So if I'm doing this from, I'm going to start with a spacer, and then one of these, and then another spacer. So there's that, and then we'll put on one of these guys. He's a little bright. I want some more brown in there. This is a more muted palette. That guy was a little too bright. Let's go with this guy. Much better. Sorry, the lighting's not as great today. And then I think on a spacer, I don't know that I like this. Nope, don't like that. All right, so I'm gonna start over. I think I understand what I want to do better now. Start with one of these. Then this guy. I wanted the flat beads up against the rondelles. So see how the butterfly doesn't, there's some space because of the wings. So you would just put a spacer in between, something that fits in there to make that component gel with the rest of the bracelet. See? So much better. I'm really loving this color palette. I might have to make this bracelet for myself too. Sorry, bestie, we might have matching bracelets. All right. So then we're gonna go, I think we're gonna go back to the brown. I like the round bead here, but I'm not in love with it right here. So I wonder if I have a crystal or something I could put on here. Let's see, and I also want to see what this looks like without a bead there. It almost works because this bead is round, but you can still see the needle there, and you would be able to see the stretch cord. I don't like that either. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pause and go find a bicone and see if I like that better. Okay, so I found a bicone and I love how it looks. I'm gonna keep the copper bead right here because I want to differentiate the blue from the copper here, but you couldn't really tell the differentiation between the brown and the copper. So I really like this blue crystal right there, and it gives it some good flow and movement. So, okay, so then I'm going to repeat my pattern, and we'll keep going. So we have another one of these spacer beads. And then we have 3 of these rondelles. I'm sure watching me string beads is riveting, but so it's a bead with me video. And then so I think we'll do one more rotation. So I'll start again, and then I'll put on the leaf bead. So we're gonna go round spacer, round gemstone, round spacer, and then 3 of these guys. Oops, almost forgot the middleman here. Okay, so we're getting there. Usually I make my bracelets 7 to 7.5 inches. Need a ruler. And I have no idea where my trusty dusty ruler is at the moment. So I will measure that off camera. But I'm really loving this pattern, and I love this bead. These two, the crystal with the copper butterfly that's really making me happy. So here I'm gonna put the leaf bead, and I'm trying to decide, maybe, I'll put crystal on either side of the leaf bead. So I have to be careful with these crystals because I don't like going on the needle. The needle's kind of big for the hole in the crystals. Oh, that one slid right on, but I might have trouble when I go to put the stretch cord on. Okay. So there we go. I'm trying to decide, I probably should put one more spacer before this bead. And I don't know if this leaf is what I'm looking for. I have some, I think I have some flowers that might work. I'm just looking through my stash here. Oh yeah, these are really pretty. And yep, this is copper. I was just checking to see if it was copper or brass, but it's copper. Okay. I don't love it. I don't love it. Okay, so maybe we'll just keep we're just gonna keep the butterfly as the only special bead on the actual bracelet itself. I really like how the one butterfly looks, and it's just so pretty and so detailed. And so I'm just gonna keep going with this pattern until I get to 7.5 inches, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is about 7.25 inches. I strung on my fox because you can put it on afterwards since he's on a jump ring, but I just wanted to make sure that everything laid out correctly. So on the bracelet, he may or may not slip between these two spacer beads, or he may just rest above because the jump ring is a little big, but it's okay. It's a very sturdy jump ring, and I wanted something like that since it's a bracelet and it might be knocked against different things. Okay, so I'm going to take my stretch bracelet material and I'm going to thread it through the needle like this. So it's the stretch bracelet material is stretch cord is through the needle. So these needles can be kind of finicky. I always clamp it closed a little bit more than they come because sometimes they don't fit through the bead, and sometimes the stretch magic or stretch cord doesn't fit stay in very well, so I always clamp it a little bit. So then you just slide your beads. Sorry if it doesn't focus. I'm gonna try and do it like this. Slide your beads onto the stretch magic and off of, I say stretch magic, I don't use stretch magic, I use the generic one I get at the craft store, 0.8 millimeter. And then you slide it onto your cord like that. So I'm going to do that with the entire bracelet. This is my favorite part. It goes so nicely. Now I'm going to be very careful around those crystals because they're a little small and I'm afraid that they're not going to go well. And if it doesn't, no big deal. We can just take it off and slide it on. But look, it's going. Just do it a little slower than all the other ones. Okay, keep sliding. Sorry, I have one bead stuck on the end there. There we go. And now they're all on the cord. You unhook this. I always cut off that part that was hooked because it gets crimped and it can, see, it can cut or, come apart easily. So I cut that part off. I never use more than I need to. I leave it on the spool. I leave the stretch material on the spool while I'm making the bracelet so I don't cut too much. So then I just leave enough. So I have two little tails and I'll cut right here. And I'm going to move this beadboard out of the way because it keeps drawing the camera's attention to it. because it's beautiful, but that's not what we need right now. And then, so I have my bracelet, or all the beads on the bracelet. Look how pretty that is. And I always pre-stretch before I tie the knot. So you want to stretch like this, stretch each side. Try not to drop your beads off. And then I stretch the entire bracelet. And this is because stretch cord, if it's not pre-stretched, it will stretch out and then the bracelet will never look really nice. And it won't lay right. So we're just making sure all of it's pre-stretched. Okay. And then we're gonna go and do a knot. I just tie 3 knots. Ooh, and I'm seeing an issue here. So good thing before I tied it, I didn't do the pattern correctly. So I'm missing a bead. I need to put another rondelle here, and that's great. That's why we double check before we tie off the bracelet, because I would have had to undo everything. So I'm gonna grab one more rondelle, and we're gonna put it on here. Glad I found that. Sorry guys, a little off camera. And this is why I use the beading needle, because it's just so much faster. Okay, so we're good. So now it's a little bit more than 7 1/4 inches, which is fine, because it's still between. So we've got a good pattern going on there. I'm just double checking everything. Looks good, looks good. Okay, so then I'm gonna tie 3 knots. Pulling tight. You know, sometimes you don't want to pull too tight because you can pop the bracelet. I rarely have had a bracelet pop on me, and sometimes the only times it's really happened is because maybe I used a crystal whose hole was a little too sharp. So then we want to use our GS Hypo Cement to glue the knot. And I like this, and I showed you just a minute ago about using this. It's got the precision tip, so I make sure that I soak that knot. And then some people slide it into the bead right away. I don't. I let that dry for a couple minutes, and then I slide it into the bead and then cut off the tail ends of the bracelet. So I'll be right back after that's dry. Okay, so the glue is dry, or it's dry enough. And this is what it looks like. You can't really, I don't know if you can see it in there, but I'm just going to cut the tails off. Now, you don't cut the tails too closely to the knot. Even though it's glued, you want to have some kind of safety measure that it's not going to just slip right out. So I'm going to do about 1/4 inch. Sorry, some beads just moved around. About 1/4 inch from the knot. Do a little snip. And then normally I would just hide it in the bead next to it, but this is a shorter bead and I don't want those knots to be the knots or the tails to be showing. So I'm going to slide it through this spacer bead into the gemstone bead. Actually, you can't even see that it's inside that spacer, but you can kind of see the little tails. I'm going to slip it out of there and put it in the gemstone bead. Just keep pulling. And just kind of rearrange the rest of the bracelet to make up for the movement. And there we go. We have ourselves a beautiful fox bracelet. I'm honestly gonna make one for myself. I have to go get another one of these pendants because it's just so cute with these beads. I really hope she likes it. So here's, I'm gonna show you the pieces I made, and then I've got to get to the post office. So we have this beautiful little fox. We have our little earrings, our little woodland creature earrings, which you can wear with that. Our woodland creature necklace. I just love it. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. And then our Disney-inspired heart necklace. And all of these pieces are just remind me so much of my best friend, and I hope she loves them. Do you guys have people who enjoy wearing your jewelry? Do you make it for yourself? Do you when you make jewelry, make them for people you have in mind. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.